We're starting ayat 13 of Surat Al-An'am. And the author says, starting with the word of God Almighty, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وله ما سكن في الليل والنهار. And to him belongs what settled in the night and the daytime. Yani, and his is what settled in the night and the daytime. So sakana, we translated it here as settled. It could mean to him belongs everything that is still in the night and the daytime. Sakana minas sukun. Sukun, what the sukun means stillness. To him belongs what is still in the night and the daytime. What is still? Yes. Yani literally. That means all these things around you that are still, they're not moving. What do you have there? Bookshelf, some shoes, mouse, etc. Everything that's not moving in the daytime and in the nighttime, it belongs to him. Well, what about the things that are moving? They belong to him too. So then, yani, this is a case of iktifa. Iktifa. Iktifa is when you mention one of two things that go together, settling with one of them and still meaning both of them. Like in some hadiths when the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever says no one is God but Allah, then such and such. And he doesn't say, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. He only says, whoever says no one is God but Allah. But it still means, and he said, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. That's called iktifa. And inshallah, we'll see some other instances of that. So then, if that's the meaning of sakana here, then that's a case of iktifa. And also, that is a reference for something that the mutakallimun speak about. Who are the mutakallimun? The theologians. Of what do the theologians, the Sunni theologians, speak? They speak of movement and stillness, isn't it? Don't they talk about eternity and having a beginning and changing and moving and stillness and volume and atoms? All of these things here? Yes. So here's a reference from the book of Allah for the mentioning of the stillness explicitly and the movement by extension. The movement and the stillness. Why mention, by the way, the stillness in particular? Because that's most of the things. If you didn't notice, I didn't notice until I worked on the Tafsir. And then I knew that from the Quran. And I looked all around me and said, wow, most of the things are still. That's very interesting. وَلَهُ مَا سَكَنَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. To him belongs what settled in the night and the daytime. And possibly sakana here means resided. What resides in the night and in the daytime. If it means what resides, then it still means what's moving and what's still. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And he is as-Sami'ul Alim. Subhanallah. So look here in this surah. We have this ayah here that has something that the mutakallimun talk about. the motion and the stillness. Also, don't forget the very first ayah. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور. Praise is due to Allah who created heavens and earth, and He made the darknesses and the light. What else do the theologians talk about? Don't they talk about bodies? They talk about the dense bodies, the bodies that are tangible, the ones that you can grab in your hand, and the subtle bodies, the ones that you cannot grab by your hand. That's here. Heavens and earth, those are the dense ones. And darkness and light, those are the subtle ones. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And He is as-Sami'ul Alim, the hearer of what is said and the knower of what is done. Nothing contained in the day or night is hidden from Him. So, as-Sami'ul Alim, the hearer, the knower. So, Al-Jalalain, the Tafsir of Jalalain, elaborates there more. The hearer of what is said, the knower of what is done. And in the Tafsir of An-Nasafi, he shows the relevance of the first sentence to the second sentence. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Is that just random there? According to An-Nasafi, there's something. It means nothing contained in day or night is hidden from Him. There's the mention of the day and the night in the same ayah. So if you want to understand the tafsir of the Quran, you want to understand how these sentences relate to each other. Or else you might see many statements in the Quran as random because you don't see their relevance to each other. If we didn't have all these extra words here, it would say, to Him belongs what's settled in the night and the daytime, and He is the hearer and the knower. And then, so much meaning here maybe would not come to our minds. قُلْ أَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ أَتَّخِذُ وَلِيًّا. Say, O Muhammad, should other than Allah I take as a supporter? So that's a denial there. That's a rhetorical question. فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The creator of heavens and earth. Fatir of heavens and earth. أي خالقهما وهو يطعم ولا يطعم. And he it is who feeds, and He is not fed. Should other than Allah I take as a supporter? Should other than the creator of heavens and earth I take as a supporter? Should other than the one who feeds and is not fed I take as a supporter? So you know the answer. قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ. Are you one of the confused ones, doesn't know the answer unless we say it? So the answer is no. قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ. Say, O Muhammad, surely I was commanded to be the first of this nation who submitted. وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And it was said to me, and I was forbidden, do not be among the pagans. So, قُلْ أَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ أَتَّخِذُ وَلِيًّا. Should other than, say, O Muhammad, should other than Allah I take as a supporter? It was posed this way because the true objection is to other than Allah being taken as a supporter. Not taking a supporter per se. Yani, What's the issue here? The issue is taking other than Allah as a supporter. Not taking a supporter. It's not taking a supporter that's the issue here. قُلْ أَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ أَتَّخِذُ وَلِيًّا. Say, should other than Allah I take as a supporter? You might need that for Wahhabi. فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Creator of heavens and earth. أَغَيْرَ فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. أَغَيْرَ فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَتَّخِذُ وَلِيًّا. Should I take other than the creator of heavens and earth as a supporter? So obvious. The answer is no. وَهُوَ يُطْعِمُ وَلَا يُطْعَمُ. And he it is who feeds and is not fed. Now this and here is highlighted because I think that's wawul hal. So this is highlighted here because I think that's wawul hal. Then the meaning would be while or though. So it would be, should other than Allah I take as a supporter, the creator of heavens and earth, though it is he who feeds and is not fed. But I didn't find it just to verify it that that's wawul hal. So if that's just regular conjunction, it's and. So I just highlighted that so that that can be checked. Yani, I think that's wawul hal. وَهُوَ يُطْعِمُ وَلَا يُطْعَمُ. And he it is who feeds and is not fed. If that is wawul hal and it's translated as and here, it still works. Still works. So it won't be wrong. قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ. Say, surely I was commanded to be the first. So very literally, I was commanded to be the first who submitted. So what's this being the first who submitted? Is that before Prophet Adam alayhi salam? Of course not. So what's this firstness here? Who can tell me? What do we call this firstness? His being the first, being commanded to be the first to submit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's
Relative
the.
first?
Say again?
Relative first?
Correct. The relative firstness. Relative firstness. Barakallahu fikum. May Allah grant you an accepted dua. Ameen. Relative firstness, there's two types of firsts. An absolute first and a relative first. Absolute first, if you were to say, who was the first one in this room? Then if you mean absolutely, it means when the room was built, when it was first built. But if you mean today, then that means relatively. Who was the first and you mean today? So it means not the very first. So there's a number of such firsts. Keep track of those. Here's one. Here's one mentioning of relative firstness. Here in Surat Al-An'am, ayah 14. وَأُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ. I was commanded to be the first who submitted. Means the first of this nation, according to Jalalain. What's another case of relative firstness? When the people say to Noah, Anta awwalur rusul. You are the first of the messengers. Oh, Noah. But Adam was the first messenger. So it means the first messenger sent to Kuffar. Or it means the first messenger sent to people after humans spread throughout the world. And what's another relative firstness? So you have these in your notes. Another relative firstness is the firstness of the pen. what did the Prophet say, alayhi salatu wasalam? He said, أَوَّلُ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ الْقَلَمِ. The first thing that Allah created was the pen. What's the first thing Allah created? Water. Absolutely, that is. What's absolutely the first thing? Water. So what is the relevance of the pen? Because the pen wrote on the tablet the destinies of the world. Then 50,000 years after the pen finished writing, everything started happening. So in comparison to what wrote those things that started happening, the pen was first. In comparison to the appearance of blasphemy, Noah was first as a messenger. And in comparison to those who were believers in the nation of Muhammad, Muhammad was first. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. قل إني أمرت أن أكون أول من أسلم. Say, surely I was commanded to be the first who submitted, the first of this nation who submitted. وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And definitely do not be among the pagans, O Muhammad. What's that? Here in this ayah, there is a command and a prohibition. Those are opposites. Command is when you say to a person, do. And prohibition is when you say, don't do. So there was a command. He said, he was commanded to say, Umirtu an akuna awwala man aslam. I was commanded to be the first who submitted. That means do it. وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And do not be amongst the pagans. So that means don't do it. So that's not a command. That's a prohibition. But they came in one flow. This command and this prohibition, which are opposites, a command is the opposite of a prohibition. A prohibition is the opposite of a command. They came in one flow. And perhaps if it wasn't pointed out to you that they are opposites, you wouldn't have recognized the contrariness of those two sentences. That one is saying do it, and the other one is saying don't do it. Yani, do something, and don't do something. Not the same it. So why is that? How is that? How is it that the command to do something can fit together so well, can mesh together, flow together so well with the opposite, the prohibition from doing something? Because a command itself to do something, it is a prohibition from doing the opposite. A command in a way is a prohibition. And a prohibition from doing something, it is a command to do the opposite. So prohibition, in a way, it is a command. A command, in a way, is a prohibition. And a prohibition, in a way, is a command. And so the two of those came together in a nice sentence. قل إني أمرت أن أكون أول من أسلم ولا تكونن من المشركين. Say, O Muhammad, I was indeed commanded to be the first who submitted in this nation. And definitely do not be, there's noon of tawqid here, noon of emphasis. And definitely do not be amongst the pagans. And it was said to me, you can add here, definitely do not be amongst the pagans for that noon of tawqid. And the synopsis of this sentence is, I was commanded with Islam and forbidden from shirk. I was commanded with Islam and forbidden from shirk. قل إني أخاف إن عصيت ربي عذاب يوم عظيم. Say, I fear if I disobeyed my Lord by worshipping another, torture of a severe day. So what happened here is a sentence got interjected inside of a sentence because the torture of a severe day is the direct object of the fear. I fear the torture of a severe day, but there's a sentence interjected. If I disobey my Lord, قل إني أخاف إن عصيت ربي عذاب يوم عظيم. Say, I fear if I disobeyed my Lord, the torture of a severe day. من يصرف عنه يومئذ فقد رحمه. من يصرف عنه يومئذ فقد رحمه. Whomever the torture was diverted from him on that day, then he had mercy on him. Yani Allah had mercy on that one. Whomever the torture was diverted from him on that day, then Allah had mercy on him. Subhanallah. وَذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْمُبِينُ. And that is the clear triumph. Yani, to be cleared of the torture on Resurrection Day. Then, khalas, you are a winner. This religion of ours encouraged us to be winners. Commanded us here to be winners. Did you ever hear someone say to you, why you always want to be right? So what do you say? Say, what, you want to be wrong? Did you ever hear someone say, you always want to win? So what do you say? What, you want to lose or something? You want to be a loser? وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُوَ وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُوَ. And if Allah touches you with calamity, so I know some people don't like that because they say Allah doesn't touch. That's true, but it says with calamity. And so really it's obvious that does not mean body part here. But it's just that our brothers and sisters are very sensitive here, very sensitive. Yani, so without regard to all of the entire sentence, without regarding the entire sentence, then they would not prefer that. Yeah, it's fine, you don't have to prefer it. But Yani, I'm just making a lesson here. We can change that. It doesn't have to stay like that. I'm not concerned about keeping it that way. But at this moment, I'm making a point here. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ. If Allah touches you with calamity. So understand language, that's good for you. Calamity like sickness and poverty. فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُوَ. Then there is no reliever for it except Him. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And if He touches you with good, like health and wealth, then He is over everything powerful. وَهُوَ الْقَاهِرُ فَوْقَ عِبَادِهِ. And He is the supreme powerful dominator over His slaves. وَهُوَ الْحَكِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ. And He is Al-Hakim Al-Khabir, wise in His creating, knowing their secrets as He knows what they exhibit. Exhibit's a good word. We need to use more. وَهُوَ الْقَاهِرُ فَوْقَ عِبَادِهِ. He is the dominator over His slaves, the subjugator the conqueror, the one who has power over everything. فَوْقَ عِبَادِهِ, over his slaves does not mean over by direction. Over his slaves means in dominance, by dominance. He dominates over them, not he's in a place over them. Allah exists without a place. Allah existed before places existed. He's the one who created places, so how would he be in a place? He is the dominator. And that's the meaning of istiwa, according to the weighty Tafsir. Ar-Rahmanu ala al-arsh istawa ay qahara. Ar-Rahman, the merciful one. The one who is merciful to everyone in the world. He overcame the arsh. Overcame here means had power over. It does not mean struggle. Yani, the arsh, which is the ceiling of paradise, as soon as it came into existence, the instant it was created and brought into existence, it was under God's power. That's the largest creation created. وَهُوَ الْقَاهِرُ فَوْقَ عِبَادِهِ, and he is the supreme powerful dominator over his slaves. وَهُوَ الْحَكِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ, and he is Al-Hakim Al-Khabir. Al-Hakim means the one who is wise, and Al-Khabir means all-knowing. He is the one who's wise in his creating, and he knows their secrets, and he knows what they exhibit. He knows what they hide, and he knows what they show. Subhanallah. He knows what's in the hearts. He knows, Yani, what nobody else knows but you. God knows. And on Judgment Day, it will come out. وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, what is in the chests shall be harvested. On Resurrection Day, the secrets of the hearts shall be harvested. It will all come out on Resurrection Day. What does it mean that he's wise in his creating? Al-Hakim. It means he made everything be as it is. Even what is evil, he is the one who created it. Even what is ugly, he is the one who created it. Even what is weak, he is the one who created it. We're not going to say nothing's ugly. That's not true. Would he create something ugly? Would he create something weak? Would he create something evil? Yes. And he is wise in doing so. He's not unjust. Rather, he's wise. قُلْ أَيُّ شَيْءٍ أَكْبَرُ شَهَادَةً, say, O Muhammad, what thing, which thing is the greatest in witnessing? قُلِ اللَّهُ, give the answer, O Muhammad. Say, Allah. Allah is the greatest in witnessing. Shahidun bayni wa baynakum, a witness between me and you. And Prophet Muhammad was commanded to say, Allah is a witness between me and you. He is a witness between us. وأوحي إلي هذا القرآن لأنذركم به وأوحي إلي هذا القرآن لأنذركم به. And say, O Muhammad, this Quran was revealed to me so that I would warn you by it. وَمَن بَلَغَ, so that I would warn you Meccans by it and warn whomever it reached. O Muhammad, say, this Quran was revealed to me so that I would warn you Meccans. Yeah, those were the first people that the Prophet was in contact with. He was a Meccan. He received the revelation in Mecca. So he started calling the people to the right religion while he was there. So he was engaging the Meccans first. And they put up a great resistance. So Allah commanded him to say this. وَأُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ لِأُنذِرَكُم بِهِ. This Quran was revealed to me so that I can warn you by it. Because he's a warner. وَمَن بَلَغَ, and whomever it reached. And so that I would warn whomever it reached. So this is evidence that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sent to the entire world, to all of the humans and all of the genies, from his time until the end of the world, Arabs and non-Arabs. Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet, and his law that was revealed to him is the final law. This is one verse amongst other verses of the Quran that prove that. What's that? Surat Al-An'am, ayah 19. وَأُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ لِأُنذِرَكُم بِهِ وَمَن بَلَغَ. This Quran was revealed to me. Say, O Muhammad, this Quran was revealed to me so that I would warn you Meccans by it and warn whomever it reached. And warn whomever it reached. So, Arab or non-Arab, at his time or after his time, human or genie. أَإِنَّكُمْ لَتَشْهَدُونَ أَنَّ مَعَ اللَّهِ آلِهَةً أُخْرَى. Do you truly testify that there is with Allah other gods? You testify that there are gods besides God? قُلْ لَا أَشْهَدُ. Say, O Muhammad, I do not testify. I disagree. There is but one God. قُلْ إِنَّمَا هُوَ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Say, He is but one God. وَإِنَّنِي بَرِيءٌ مِّمَّا تُشْرِكُونَ. And certainly, I am clear of what idols you associate with Him. Yeah. That's for the idol worshippers. They associate idols with God, but some people worship humans. So they associate humans with God, like Jesus and his mother, some people, or other humans. And some people associate other things with God, like fire, or the sun, or nature. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعرفونه كما يعرفون أبناءهم. Those to whom we have given the book, they know Muhammad like they know their own children. Who are those? Those are especially the Jews, but also the Christians. But not so much today. but especially before. Like when Prophet Muhammad appeared, alayhi salatu wassalam. And before that, before he appeared, he was alive though. Because you know the story of the monk. You know the story of the monk when the Prophet was a child? What's his name? Bahira. He saw a caravan, Christian monk. He saw a caravan. He noticed something about the caravan. So he pulled them over and he invited them to eat. He said, everyone, come on, all of you. So they all came out and he was going around looking at all of them. He said, is that everyone? They said, yeah, that's everyone. He said, are you sure? They said, well, just a boy we left in the caravan. He said, bring him. So then they brought Muhammad because his uncle told Prophet Muhammad, stay here. So he said, bring him. So when the Prophet came, he noticed there was a cloud over him. There was a cloud following him. And so when he saw him, he noticed some things about him. And he said to him, I ask you by Allat and Al-Uzza, two idols, to answer me. The Prophet ﷺ said, I hate those idols the most. So then the monk said to him, I ask you by God to answer me. And he said, I ask you by Allah to answer me. Then the Prophet said, ask me whatever you wish. He's just a boy. And then the monk started asking him questions. And then he said, who is this boy's father? So the Prophet's uncle said, I am. So the monk said, his father should be dead. So his uncle said, that's true, I'm his uncle. The monk said to him, beware of your nephew from the Jews. If they recognize about him what I have recognized about him, they will kill him. And then the Prophet's uncle got scared, and then they finished their business. Yani they went on with their caravan, they finished their business and came back fast. And other stories. You know about also the Caesar, Heraclius. Abu Sufyan said that the Caesar, Abu Sufyan wasn't a Muslim at the time, he said the Caesar intercepted us when we were in the lands of the Levant, the Sham. They were looking for Arabs to ask them questions. And then they went to the Caesar. And then the Caesar talked to Abu Sufyan. I'm not going to say that whole story now, so I can stick to the tafsir. And he was asking Abu Sufyan all sorts of questions about Muhammad. Then, after he finished asking him, he said to Abu Sufyan, he said, I knew the last of the prophets was coming. Who, by the way, who are these? These were Christians. He said, I knew the last of the prophets was coming, but I didn't know he would be one of you, coming out of a land of, coming out of a very harsh land. Meaning, he thought the last prophet would come out of Syria. He didn't think the last prophet would come out of Arabia. And that's what happened with the Jews too. They didn't think he would be an Arab. They thought he would be a Jew. They didn't think he would be an Arab. That's what you call subverting expectations. Subverting expectations. When the Jews, when their expectation was subverted here, they didn't like the fact that he was an Arab, then they wouldn't believe in him. But when he came with what he came with, they recognized it. They recognized revealed religion. They recognized the prayer. They recognized the purification. They recognized the slaughtering the animals, eating halal meat that they call kosher. They recognized it. They knew. but they didn't want to believe. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعرفونه كما يعرفون أبناءهم. Those to whom we have given the book, the Jews and the Christians, they know him like they know their own children. الذين خسروا أنفسهم فهم لا يؤمنون. Those who have failed themselves, they do not believe in him. Those who have failed themselves. On Judgment Day, the people who are losers on Judgment Day, they will be people who failed themselves. No one else failed them. We're going to see in this surah all kinds of things they're going to say on Judgment Day. They're going to lie to God on Judgment Day. They will say, nah, we were believers. That's how, why would somebody lie to God? That's how severe the torture is. That's how desperate one would be. Why is God's torture so severe? Well, who's going to have a more severe torture than God? Anyway, what is torture supposed to be? What's the torture of God supposed to be? Just like his reward. His reward is also very extreme, big, severe. الذين خسروا الذين خسروا أنفسهم فهم لا يؤمنون. Those who have failed themselves, they do not believe. And this fat right here, fahum, I could not find anything about it, and I asked about it. What is this fat? So I have no idea. Subhanallah. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو كذب بآياته. And who is more unjust? Who is a greater violator than someone who fabricates on Allah a lie? Someone who lies on God. Or he belied his signs. Signs of God came to him and he turned away from them. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Surely unsuccessful are the unjust. وَيَوْمَ نَحْشُرُهُمْ جَمِيعًا. And mention the day when we gather them entirely. When we gather all of them, every single human who ever existed, with no one left out. ثم نقول للذين أشركوا أين شركاؤكم الذين كنتم تزعمون. And then we scoldingly say to those who committed paganism, where are your partners that you used to claim? ثم لم تكن فتنتهم إلا أن قالوا والله ربنا ما كنا مشركين. Then their ordeal shall not be but that they say, by Allah our Lord, we swear to God, we were not pagans. انظر كيف كذبوا على أنفسهم. Look, O Muhammad, how they lie on themselves. That's on Resurrection Day. وضل عنهم ما كانوا يفترون. And absent from them is what they used to fabricate about it being God's partners. Whatever they were worshiping in this life, besides Allah, on Judgment Day, it's not going to save them. That's the meaning of the question here. ثم نقول للذين أشركوا أين شركاؤكم الذين كنتم تزعمون. Then we say to those who committed paganism, where are your partners that you used to claim? It means those who didn't used to worship Allah, but they worshipped something. Where is it now? Now that you are in the severe torture. Where is what you used to worship so that it can rescue you? So that's ayah 22. Here, ayah 24. وَضَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ. And absent from them is what they used to fabricate about it being God's partners. Yani, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found will be whatever they were fabricating about it being God. Sadaqallahul azim. Allah knows best. We'll stop there.